Hello and welcome to our first ever edition of our game preview. Today we will be talking about our upcoming match, which is very important for the league, against FC Barcelona. Now this game, like I just mentioned, is extremely important. It is a major 3 points that we need to make sure we win. And at the end of the season, we always look back on these major games, and if we don't get the big points, we always end up regretting losing out on these 3 points. Right now, FC Barcelona is not in their best form, so we have to take advantage of that, especially considering that they're coming off of a major defeat in the Champions League, whereas we are coming off of a major victory in the same competition. So, first and foremost, the game will be held this Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, obviously, that will change depending on what time zone you are in, so make sure you Google that to make sure you don't miss the game. Now, when we look at these standings here, we can see that, well, neither us or FC Barcelona is really doing that great this season. As we can see here, we are currently in 4th place, whereas Barcelona is a little bit below us in 6th place. Now, Barcelona does have one game less than us, so that is kind of worrying there. But similar to us, they only have 2 victories in their last 5 games. We do have a defeat from our last league game where we lost against Alaves, whereas Barcelona won their last league game, and they actually put a pretty decent performance. Probably the best performance of the season so far was their last league game. But like I mentioned before, they are also coming off a major defeat in the Champions League, whereas we are coming off a major victory in the Champions League where we beat AC Milan 2-1. That game went over 90 minutes. We scored that winning penalty. I think it was minute 93-ish. So that was a major victory where we grinded out a positive result. So I think that our spirits right now are probably higher than the Barcelona spirits. So with that being said, here is the list of players that have been selected for this upcoming match. As you can see, there are no major injuries for us this week. We also have basically our entire starting 11, our major players are all available right now. So that is a big bonus for us. Whereas for Barcelona, they do have still a couple injuries. They have Jordi Alba, who is out injured. They also have Dembele, who is still injured as well. They did recently get back Ansu Fati and Coutinho, who have been playing a few more minutes these past few games, but probably they're not at 100% just yet, especially Ansu Fati, who was out for about a year almost. So he's probably still not back at his best. Whereas we have our full squad available without any major injuries. And I think that's a big bonus for us going into this game. Now, following up from that, this here is the lineup that I would personally love to see us play here in this coming match. The reason why, as you can see, this is more of a 4-4-2 formation rather than the 3 defenders that we've been using. The reason why I think we need to go back to this 4-4-2 is because lately we've been conceding many goals. Okay, we've been conceding 1 to 2 goals almost every game, it feels like, which is actually something that as Atletico Madrid we are not used to doing that. I think that the 4 defenders in the back gives us a little bit more solidity when you have those 2 midfielders standing in front of them, the defensive midfielders. So I think that in general, I think we need to go back to the 4-4-2 formation. Many of our players in the squad know how to play the 4-4-2 formation because they've played it before. They've been used to it as well. So I think it would be a good change of pace to go back to our 4-4-2 formation for this upcoming match. And as you can see here, I think we should obviously go with Oblak in the goal as always. And in front of him, we need to have our two best defenders right now, which are Savage and Jimenez. In the right wing or right back position, we should give Trippier another chance. He hasn't been performing at his best this season, but I think that if we continue to have faith in him, he should be able to start performing and picking up his level of play. At the left back position, I would actually like to see Hermoso play there. The reason why is because I think that Hermoso is very reliable defensively, whereas Lodi, sometimes it feels that defensively he's not the most reliable defender back there. Going forward, I think Hermoso also he likes to make good runs. He doesn't have the best ball control or the best passing necessarily, but he does make good runs. I think that's something that Lodi kind of misses out on. And I also think that Hermoso, he does have a good eye for passes. I mean, he did provide an assistance a couple games ago to Suarez, so I think we should give him a try there in the left back position. I think he has the speed, he has the defensive capabilities. Let's just see what he can do going forward from that position. I think that would be a good thing to try out there. In the middle of the field, I would have our two main midfielders in the center. I would have them be Kondogbia as the defensive midfielder. I think Kondogbia has been putting in a lot of great performances lately. I think he's probably our best defensive midfielder right now. He reminds me a lot of Thomas Partey. When he was in our team, he kind of gives us that solid midfield role there. And then next to him, I would have DePaul. I think DePaul right now is one of our most creative midfielders. I think that he is really good with the ball at his feet. He goes forward a lot. He makes positive passes to the front. And he doesn't really rely like some of our other midfielders, like Koke, for example, who right now is not in his best time, who does too many side passes. DePaul gets the ball, he dribbles forward, and he tries to make forward passes to our line. And I think that's very important. That's something that we really need in our midfield, that creativity coming out of our midfield. Next, in the right midfield position, I would have Llorente. Again, another player who hasn't been playing the best this season, but I believe that he does have the potential to turn things around. I think that's one of the things he has been lacking, has been the consistency in where he plays. He's been playing a lot of different positions. I think the right midfield position fits him the best because it gives him the ability to go forward more than when he plays the right wing back position. So I think the right midfield position will be better for Llorente. I think he'll go forward better and hopefully start producing better finished results in the last third of the field. On the other side, the left midfield position, I would have Lemar. He's been playing really well since last year. He's been a key player for us. Again, against the AC Milan team in the Champions League, he was the one who put the pass for Lodi, who then centered it into Griezmann, who scored. So I think, Lemar has that skill to dribble past multiple defenders. He has the runs, he has the shooting capabilities, he has the vision, and he just has that creativity that right now we're kind of lacking in our team a bit. Up front, I would have obviously Suarez as our main target man, the number 9. And behind him, I would actually give Griezmann another chance. The reason why is, he did score in the last game against AC Milan. I think that kind of boosted his confidence, and I would like to see what he can do this upcoming match. Now, with all of that being said, here are some of the keys to victories that we will need to make sure we do and don't do. So, first of all, the things that we need to do are give 100% from the very beginning. Lately, we've been waiting to get scored on or waiting till minute 70, waiting till minute 80 for us to really get going and putting pressure on the other team. I think that needs to change. I think we need to be putting pressure and trying to win the game from the very get-go. I don't think we can afford to wait until minute 80, 90 to try and score or tie the game. We also need to make sure we're using our best lineup. I just showed you all my preferred lineup for this coming game. I think that would be our best lineup personally. But whatever Simeone chooses, I think he needs to make sure that he chooses the people that are performing at the highest level. Right now, not all of our players are performing at their highest level. And so, for example, like Koke, who is just coming back from injury and hasn't had the best season so far, Simeone does like to give a lot of loyalty to some certain players, and I think that sometimes that kind of backfires on us. So I think Simeone really needs to make sure that he's choosing the best players that are in the best shape right now. The other thing we need to make sure we do is get the simple things right. Against some teams, sometimes we lose basic balls, right? Making basic passes, controlling the ball, making sure that we don't waste corners, basic things like that. We need to make sure we're getting those things right because we need to build on those simple things. And last but not least, we need to make sure that we use our speed up front against FC Barcelona. It has been shown time and time again that FC Barcelona's Achilles heel in the defense and in the midfield is speed. So if we can play with speed and precision, I think that's going to go a long way to giving us victory. Now, some of the things that we need to avoid and make sure that we don't do is we need to make sure we don't concede an early goal. Next, we need to make sure that we don't defend too early. That means if we score in the minute 30, we do not drop back to defend the rest of the game. We need to make sure we continue attacking and not just drop back. Because against a team like Barcelona, we're not going to be able to defend a 1-goal lead for very long without making too many mistakes. And last but not least, we need to make sure that we don't make too many changes during the game. Sometimes Simeone likes to change formations during the game. He likes to put players in different positions, which is fine usually, but sometimes it kind of messes with the dynamics of the team. So I would like to see a good game plan from the beginning and sticking to that game plan through to the end of the game. Now, with all that being said, guys, give me your thoughts about what you guys think we need to do to make sure we come away with these 3 points. Make sure that if you like this content, like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and like always, stay tuned for the game review that we'll have after the game.